Welcome to SolidCAM Professor. I'm Sydney, your SolidCAM Professor, with one of many videos available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now that we've created already our coordinate system, in this lesson we'll talk about creating our stock and target. Now, before I continue, let me just mention that at this point, after I've created my coordinate system, if I want, I can already accept the project and start with many of my 2.5D operations. However, it's a good idea to create your stock and target, as this is necessary for the proper type of simulation. And there are operations in 3D, in iMachining, in fourth and fifth axis that actually require this information over here. So we'll start by creating our stock. Now, let's take a look at my SolidCAM settings for a moment. And we're actually looking at this point in automatic cam part definition. If we take a look, you can see that we have definition of stock marked off and definition of target also marked off. What this actually does, that it automatically creates my stock material and my target based on my coordinate system that I just created. Now, let's go now and go into the stock and see exactly what's going on over there. I'll click on stock, and you can see that my part has already been chosen. You can see that in this window, we already have my solid part inside of it already. That comes from the automatic setting that I had inside my SolidCAM settings. Now, if I did not have that set, I would have to go in and touch the part. If I touch the part now, click on the part, you'll see it'll disappear. And this is the way I would get it if I did not have it marked off. So all I would have to do in this case is click on the part itself, and my solid part will automatically come. Now, at this point, we can see over here, defined by box. The box is automatically created around the outside dimensions of the part itself. And if I want my stock to be bigger in the X direction, X minus direction, or in the Y plus, Y minus, Z plus, Z minus, all I have to do is put in the values over here. For example, I'll put in the X plus an additional 2 millimeters, and you can see that this actually now is 2 millimeters out. I'll do the same in X minus, as well as X plus and X minus. And in my Y plus, in my Z plus, I'll put, say, 0.5 millimeter. And in my Z minus, I'll give it, say, an extra 6 millimeters. And as you can see, the stock has actually grown all around the part. I can take a look in the top view. You can see it's bigger on the X and Y directions. And if I look on the side view, you can see it bigger in the Z plus and in the Z minus direction as well. This was done by choosing box. Now, the other options that we have over here is Extrude Boundary. By Extrude Boundary, I would just choose a geometry around the part itself, and the stock will be according to the shape of that particular geometry that I've chosen. And the depth of it, the thickness of it, will be according to what I have in my coordinate system on the part itself. We also have an option of 3D model. 3D model allows me to choose an actual model that exists for my stock. For example, let's say I created this part with some kind of configuration. Well, you'll note that I have here an option of configurations. It just so happens that this part I created originally in SolidWorks with a configuration called stock. If I were to open up my configuration, you can actually see the stock over here. All I have to do now is, being in 3D model, click on the stock itself, and you'll see that that is my stock over there. If I click on show, you can see the exact shape of my stock. All I have to do right now is I'll close this window and accept this. Now, let's create our target. Our target actually is our final destination. In other words, what do we want to actually have as our final part, which is the actual model itself. Since I had my settings already set to choose the target automatically, if I were to go into target, you'll see just like when I started my stock before, my solid part is already chosen over here, and I don't have to do anything else. If I were to click on show, you can see the exact shape that has been chosen for my target. I'll click on my V to OK this part, and now we've created our stock and target. In our next lesson, we'll be going through the rest of the windows that we see over here, our part settings, our options, and we'll talk about setting up our iMachining database. For more videos on SolidCAM Professor, please go to our website, www.solidcam.com, and look for the tab called SolidCAM Professor. Thank you for joining us on SolidCAM Professor. Take care and have a nice day.